What's cracking, everybody? New video time. And so as you guys who checked my community posts saw, a couple days ago I lost a friend of mine. I did the life support video, so you could check that video out and see. Supposedly he collapsed from a heart attack in the shower, right? And his wife found him in the shower, and they took him to the hospital. They induced a coma, to try to slow down any damage and let his body regenerate, I guess. And then when they were pulling him out of the coma, they realized he was brain dead. So he hadn't been here for a while, I guess. And so I got the text that his wife was gonna finally be allowed to go into the hospital, be by his side to remove him from life support, right? And like I said in the other video, whenever somebody that had a life sentence gets out, and if they pass out here, it's a win. They didn't pass in there. And I believed it when I said it, and I still believe it. It's the truth. But I can't say that I didn't shed a tear for him. And I'll tell you that it hit me as I was driving to work. When I drive is when I do a lot of my thinking and going over things that's going on, and try to strategize, I guess you could say, on how to correct things or get ahead on things or whatever. And so, it struck me that because the homie had just finished an apprenticeship, right? An 18-month apprenticeship. And I went to his graduation. I was invited to his graduation, and I went. And in his time, in his moment, he made it a point to give me some props, and I just remembered the things that he had said, how he believed that I had helped him in his life. And I feel like he gave me more credit than I deserved, because at the end of the day, no matter who comes into your life, no matter what they say to you, if you pick it up and you put that in motion, they were just somebody along the way, right? Like I was just somebody along his path, and he made the decision to soak up some stuff, and he applied it, and so he did that. I was just a channel, you could say, you know what I mean? And I'm glad that he listened, and I'm glad he was able to make a positive change in his life, and I'm glad he was able to be a husband outside of a letter or a visiting room or a phone call, right? But another thing that hit me, and this is the thing where, as we grow up, because when I was arrested for my crime and the mindset that I had, I'll be honest with you, I was honestly like, fuck that vato, the one I killed. Fuck him, fuck his homeboys, fuck all them dudes that are, that were with him that night. Fuck his wife, fuck his kid, fuck his family. That was my mentality. No sympathy, nothing, just bang down, right? And I was an asshole, And I remember at my sentencing, my victim's wife didn't want to speak, and so she wrote a letter. And the judge read the letter, I believe it was the judge, read the letter into the record, right? And in it, she said, I showed no remorse. I wasn't capable of doing that at the time, but she said I showed no remorse and shit. And she said in detail what she had to go through. Now, mind you, as fucked up as my mentality was, as fucked up as my way of thinking was, as fucked up as my attitude was, I was still listening. And you know, I shot my victim in the back of the head, right? And he was brain dead instantly. But because he was so close to a hospital, they put him on life support, and the next day they took him off, right? And the wife said that when she went into the hospital room, that was her husband. She saw her husband, he looked the same. She couldn't see any injuries because the injury was back here. And they were telling her, he's gone, he's not here. And that's not what she could see. She could see her husband in front of her. He looked the same. And she was rubbing his hands, rubbing his feet, kissing him and telling him to get up, you know. And she said that when she finally had to tell them, go ahead and remove him from life support, she was holding his hand. And within minutes, he lost all color. His body got cold, his hand got cold, and his hands started getting hard. His body started getting hard. And, you know, so when I was thinking of my friend, his wife, not being allowed to be in the hospital with him, and then finally being told, yeah, you can come in now, basically to, you know, to remove him from life support, I thought of what I forced my victim's wife to go through, she was now gonna go through. And the details were going through my head, you know, and I was like, damn. And I think that's an important thing for us to remember, like, when we lose somebody and whatever pain we feel, those of us that have grown up have to realize we forced people to feel that pain in our past with decisions that we made, with actions that we took. And we couldn't be that little idiot kid like I was. Fuck them, I'd do it again. We can only be that for so long, right? And then we start growing up. When we start losing people in our lives, you know, I lost my mom, I lost my grandma while I was in prison. And you start realizing, damn, you know, what I'm feeling, I forced on somebody. And so I started thinking about those things, you know. But it's not, you know, like I told the homie's wife, pain is normal, right? But suffering is a choice. It's normal to feel pain from the loss. But to choose to stay in the sad memories, that's a conscious decision. Maybe even a subconscious decision initially. But every time we lose somebody, you know, hopefully, like unfortunately for me, I don't have good memories with my mom. So I can't, all I can do is just love my mom. But those of you that have good memories of your loved ones and your friends, when you lose them, don't solely think about the loss. Remember the good times. And they can make you sad, but remember their laugh, remember their smile, remember a hug, a kiss, you know, whether it's a family member or whatever, you know what I mean? A wife, your husband, whatever. But you know, it's unfortunate because of this COVID thing. We don't know if they're gonna be, if there's gonna be any services. Because I know for a fact there's gonna be if there is, there's gonna be a whole lot of lifers there. You know. I like to compare the lifer community to the military community. You know, we've been through shit that no one else understands. We've seen shit that no one else has seen. And we've done shit that we're not proud of, but that helped us grow into better men and better women. There's women lifers. Because of my my work schedule, I don't go to lifer meetings anymore, which are mandatory unless you're working. And you know, this thing made me feel like, damn, I kind of missed that, man. I miss seeing, you know, what new dudes got out. You know, yeah, it sucks. You gotta go have the meetings at the pro office, you know, but you know. But those of you wondering, man, I'm doing good. Just thinking of my friend's family and remembering the things that I'm responsible for in my past, the pain and the hurt. I will say this, you know, in my past, you hit a situation like this, you know, you lose somebody, or maybe somebody you're close to gets hurt, and what's the first thing we want to do? We want to transfer our hurt and our pain by fucking somebody up or doing something to somebody, right? Because we think, oh, that'll make it better. And when I was younger, let's go. I would have did it, just done it. And being older and having developed tools to identify that shit, I really did identify, like, the day where I shed some tears for the homie. I caught myself twice. I was driving to work and somebody was driving a little reckless around me, and I caught myself mad dogging him, right? But I caught it, turned around and just, hey man, it's nothing. Then at work, there's a guy at work that I really don't dig his style, right? And I was at my workbench and he was walking by and I was just staring at him like, go ahead and look at me right now, right? And when he went by, he glanced and, I don't know, maybe he saw it and he turned his head, and immediately I was like, the fuck am I doing? But I catch these moments, and this is the growth, right? This is what keeps men like me out of prison, is being able to identify that. I'd like to think that if he would have looked at me and said, what? I would have told him he had a booger in his nose or something. Who knows? But I was able to catch that and identify that. I am gonna be something before I go. Those of you that have listened to my podcast, I had said that I was gonna be bringing lifers on and interviewing them, and it's just, we all work hectic schedules, man. But I will say that the homie that passed away, he was the interview I wanted the most. And it was just hit and miss. He works in the day, I work in the evening, and we were gonna make it happen, right? But the important thing with his story to me is what I really wanted you guys to hear is he had got picked up on a bullshit charge. I think it was like an attempted murder case or something, but I don't think it was like my understanding, he had actually beating the case, right? And went to the LA County Jail, wound up in the gang module, right? And things being how they are, wound up killing his celly. Him and several other dudes wind up catching a murder, killing the celly that they had. And so he wound up with a life sentence, right? And that just goes to show you that those of you that want to dabble in criminality and you think, you know, say you're breaking into cars, you're just boosting, whatever you're doing is petty shit. Once you get behind any motherfucking jail walls, you could wind up having to perform and getting a life sentence. And got nothing to do but time after that, right? So I really wanted to get him on and give him the opportunity to tell that story. Unfortunately, it won't happen, and I don't have all the details. I don't have his perspective to give. But I am still working on it. I know I've been bullshitting on my podcast, but I'll get all this shit rolling eventually. All right, with that, I'm out.